Like guys like Nelly Farms. Like I remember going to West Palm Beach for him in 2000. Remember Nelly? That he gave us, remember? And, excuse me, helping him break down a house because it got hot. The feds was about to hit it, and I had
to. It's your boy, let me see what you smoking. Another episode, legendary episode, with one of the pioneers when it comes to this Black Haze, Cuban Black Haze movement. None other than Florida's own 305, Nelly Farm in the building. Legendary Nelly Farms in the building.
What up, what up?
My brother, it's an honor to have you on my show. We right here lighting up some Black Haze, La Negra. You know what I mean? Cuban Black Haze for those, you know what I mean? I didn't really hear it like that. It was usually El Puré to me. But you know, from watching High El Puré, you know what I mean? But
we were talking about that earlier. We never even gave ourselves the Cuban name on the Cuban Black Haze. It was more like, we knew it always was the black, it was the Cuban. I mean, it was the black, it was La Negra.
La Negra, you know what I'm saying? Yo, tell the people, who is Nelly Farms?
Well, when people ask me about Cuban Black Haze in particular, to me, they're talking about like my history. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing that since 1990s. So it's part of our history. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did stuff for that long. And, you know, it's great to see it's still moving along. You know, how far it's going after 30 years, people are still interested. And the youth now wants to go out and like, see what the nostalgia, what all the talk is about. You know?
It's different terms compared to what candy is.
100%.
It's something unique, like very unique. You're looking for like that church, Frankenstein, you know what I mean? Old basement type of nose, you know what I mean? Like
it has a distinctive smell. Like
and there's different variations.
Yeah.
But you can still get that.
You know,
haze,
you know when it's the haze.
Because I've had super lemon haze, and I have the lemon haze and the other type of hazes, but the unique one is the black.
The Cuban Black Haze was the powerhouse. If you were growing haze out here for any particular reason in volume, it's because you were coming to New York with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We created that path.
Who was Nelly Farms, bro?
Well, me and my brother actually started this whole route up to New York idea. You know what I'm saying? Back in 1990, that's when we set out to do it as two young men. We're in our 20s, and we're like ready to hustle, do things, and we came across Northern Lights. We started doing that, and then we did Seattle's. And then when one of the dudes around the way, Miami, handed us that, you know, we tried it, we put it in rotation, we brought it to New York, and New York fell in love, bro, and that's history, bro. Now the rest is just, it's a legacy strain, you know, it's been out there since 1990s.
But it's one of the legendary strains, man.
Yeah, there is no other strain that I can imagine that actually took off the way that did.
Yeah.
The way it did, word of mouth, because we didn't have internet, we didn't have a way of communicating and putting it on blast, you know? It was all word of mouth. New York tried that shit, bro, it was over. That was it. No more Northern Lights, no more Seattle's. We were growing, everything was haze.
And talk to us about them times when you was doing your thing, when on the come up, you know, in those back in the days, the beginning of your time bringing the piff, the haze to, and what?
Well, what happened realistically, when me and my brother started doing that, we already had a room set, and we were doing Northern Lights, like I was saying, you know, and somebody handed us that haze. We tried it in a smaller area, we liked it, we brought it to New York, they loved it. They were like, yo, can you get more of this? That's when we realized, yeah, they ain't asking for nothing else. So we started creating more and more rooms in the early 90s until we got to a point that, you know, we had several rooms, and then anybody else who got that strain, they knew to basically bring it to us because we were buying it. That nobody in the beginning knew. Since like 1992 to like 97, it was just lockdown. Me and my brother were like the only two really moving it that route. That was our route, you know what I'm saying? We were born in New York, raised in New York, moved out here in the 80s. So we went to school here. We went to school in New York, we went to school here. And that, for me, that's where I met my electrician. That's where I met my AC dude. It was through them as a young man that I didn't know 10 years later, meeting them in life in, middle school to high school, that these kids will play a major role in moving the haze forward, because now we need 12 lights in a room. How the fuck you gonna cool that? So we need to step to people that you could explain to. Don't ask too many questions. This is what we're gonna do.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. You want to make some money? Let's go do it.
Yeah.
So that's basically,
What is your method of cultivation for those that don't know, my brother? Like, what's the best? What's the medium that you use to cultivate the haze?
the haze has got to be hydroponic.
Hydro.
She's a hydro plant.
LEDs or HPS?
Me personally, I like my old school. High pressure sodiums. Give me my Rockwell cubes. Give me that, or even the water system. Those are good old techniques.
But the lighting, how about the lighting? The lighting, like you use LEDs or you use the HPS?
Now I'm messing around with LEDs.
But before it was HPS.
Straight up 120 bulbs. Had 10 houses, 12 bulbs in each one. You need a nice cooling system. You know what I'm saying? These LEDs, besides the point that, they're expensive, but they illuminate a certain amount of light. So only like the canopy really can get that light. You know what I'm saying? With the high pressure sodiums, bro, we would have fucking buds on the cubes on the last stem. You'd have a valuable, nice chunk, That light just penetrates that much deeper.
And how many lights again?
We would have 12 lights in a 2-car garage. 12 high pressure sodiums. And a 5-ton AC unit cooling it off. Back then we're not paying for the light. You can't pay for that light.
But now, it's a different days, but
Yeah.
it's different. What was one of the biggest obstacles you have faced as doing what you're doing?
Well, in the beginning, it was basically like I was saying, how do you cool off the system? How do you, you have to start evolving into these situations where, all right, I got to bring an AC guy in here. How the hell am I going to explain to this AC dude, this is my plan? You have to have somebody you have confidence,
Yeah, of course.
So we came over those obstacles because of life, you know what I'm saying? I happened to, like I was telling you earlier, I happened to go to school with an electrician out here. And one of my other classmates was the AC guy. So I was like,
Yeah, you had everything.
we were hanging out already, but we were just doing other things, hanging out at the beach, screwing around. I didn't even think of growing 10 years prior, in the 80s. It was like,
one of the names that mentioned you, a good friend of mine, is White Boy Kev.
That's my people.
Talk to me about him, man.
That's my people, bro. White Boy Kev. I met him many, many years ago, bro. Back in the 90s. What can I say about Kev, bro? We had a lot of fucking good times. We worked together. We had good runs, and we fucked around a lot. We smoked a lot, and we hung out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But he's definitely one of the dudes that held it down out there. He had his respect in the streets. He did his thing. He maintained the block running well, and if you wanted good quality weed, you went to see him.
Hell yeah. What other cultivars you like to grow besides the haze?
No, originally we started doing like Northern Lights. When I say we, I mean my brother Zach. He should also get some credit and some shout outs because
Shout out to your brother.
nobody really mentions him much, But without him, a lot of this wouldn't be possible.
He's part of the Nelly Farms franchise, or he has his own?
He has his own thing. He's out of Cali.
Okay.
But he's still in the business. He does well. They're great techniques. His son is a great grower too.
You gotta put me on, bro.
Yeah,
Gotta put me on.
definitely. I'll get him. Maybe get you to interview him one day.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? Most definitely.
He's a little
It could be
older than me,
done.
so I have my issues about doing stuff like this, and he too. He's reserved.
Yeah, no, of course. After everything that has happened, still until this day, you know what I mean? But it's all how.
Everything was a mission, bro. Everything's a mission,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Once we cross the obstacles of how to get the rooms dialed in, now we got to get the work up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a network. It's a team of people. It's not like one dude by himself. It's impossible. We had buddies that we went to school with over there originally because we were went to school in New York, so we knew who we were smoking weed with, so we stepped to them. You know what I'm saying? That's how we were able to get the haze to start moving because we were already putting all the lights and stuff out there.
What
So,
are you going? What are you doing now? What are you doing now besides the haze?
the Tangy cross that I did, it's a Tangy, I call it Tangy Black Haze. So I was able to reduce her flowering time, which was my original intentions, because a lot of the licensed facilities don't want to carry a haze because it takes too long. You know, the Cuban Black Haze. Flowering time is over 90 days, so that nobody at that level wants to do it. So I was able to give that some thought, and I was like, you know what? I have a Tangy, and I reduced my Cuban Black Haze flowering time by crossing them to half the time, 48 to 56 days. I have 3 phenols that I kept.
So that's how you've been able to. You could actually double down the time a little bit. You know. What
So
I mean?
my Tangy Black Haze, number 1, I think it's done in 48 to 56 days, right? It tastes just like the Cuban Black Haze. The nubs are different. They're
Yeah, the
tighter.
tangy appeals.
They're tighter, frostier, smells great, tastes just like the haze. It's amazing, and it's done only 56 days.
And there's no like tangy in it at all, like a little.
Very little bit.
Very little.
My number 2 is more like a 50-50.
Okay.
That number 2 has both.
And you're keeping both.
Yeah, both taste. And then the third one that I got is a Tangy number 3, which is the one that leans even more towards the Tangy. But you still have the same effects. They're seeing Cuban Black Haze effects, you know?
Nah, I mean, and if you're able to get the tangy to blend it in, you know what I'm saying? It's something different. You
Right.
can do
Well, they're
with
both
the-
sativas, right?
I've seen an OG cross with the haze as well. I've seen that before, you know what I'm saying? You ever thought about like the haze, like flipping it with an OG?
No, but they have that already. Like,
Okay, yeah, the tangy, yeah, the tangy is definitely, yeah, something unique.
yeah,
unique
so
to its flavor.
I did it with that in mind, you know. I was like,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me, let
something
me reduce
unique,
this flowering
yeah.
time. And since they're both sativas, they complement each other well. You feel me?
Yeah. How do you see the game from back in the day compared to what you see now?
I see a lot of variety, right? Like, this is a strain that it's a legacy at this point. It's been around for so long. You got a lot of new stuff that keeps coming through and stuff like that. And it's all nice, beautiful stuff, entertaining. But for me, I'll stick to what I know, you know?
So the haze is simple. Like me personally, I prefer blunts with it. Like, but when it smokes good on paper, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just nostalgic thing with it to me.
Right.
Everybody to each to their own, bro. You know what I mean?
Nah, I
To
feel
each
you.
his own. But to me, like when it smokes on a blunt, it smokes like very like different, and it brings you back to how I first started in Washington Heights and all that shit. You know what I mean? But this haze is brings you back. It has that Frankenstein, that church, straight up like woody, oaky, like that type of flavor, earthy, soothing, a little with a backhand punch. You know what I mean? Just to get the ill kind mouth, you better have something on ready to drink. You know what I mean? But definitely the strong effects. That's the most. It's very nice effects. You know what I mean? It's nothing that can knock you out of the box, but it will
Nice.
keep you. It will
Happy,
keep you
up,
active,
energized.
talkative. You see how I'm talkative? You know, keep talking and just keep going and go on with your day. And it won't
Show 'em the
have you
tube.
couch
Show 'em the tube.
Yeah, we just got the tube, you know what I'm saying? Nelly Farms, you know what I mean? How was your love for cannabis? How did that start?
Well, if you really want to know, like back in the day, we were smoking regs, you know, and a couple times we'd take the seeds and throw them in the fucking backyard and watch a plant grow and shit. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. But eventually, when we started getting a little more into it, like coming across some type of exotic, you know, in our neighborhood, that's what we called it, exotics, which was anything but regs, you know, anything grown indoor. So it just started growing on me, man. I just started messing around with it. Before you know it, we wanted to get serious. We went indoors with it.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause we had a nice big tree one time in the backyard growing. We didn't know what it was, but it was growing beautiful. And somebody came and stole it right out of our backyard. It wasn't even finished yet. But that's how, you know, early on at 16, 17, 18, we're already been introduced to herb. So we took a love for it really early, you know.
And that's
I mean, in New York, you smoking at 12, 13, you know.
depending who you know, depending
Rags,
where you grow
popping
up.
with seeds and stuff. That's what buying little tray bags down in Vermilion.
Yeah, that's how it is. So you grew up. You grew up.
I was born in Vermilion,
I
right?
was born in well, Inwood.
Inwood Heights. Yep.
Inwood. Shout out to that because I grew up out there too, like recently, and so I could relate to that. You know what I mean? And over there is all over the place. You know what I mean? It's something that you can't avoid. Unfortunately, at one single point in your life, you're gonna end up seeing it at least. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But what do you see you doing with the haze in the future? Like, do you want to put it like for sale, or will you ever consider to do something else? What would the
Well,
plans?
originally I was approached to get into some licensed facilities with it, but because of the length of the time, it wasn't going to work, and that's why I started crossing it, and I came up with a strategy plan to reduce the flowering time, but still get the same taste and head of the haze. Yeah, if I could get into a licensed facility, that particular one, then yeah, it'd be great. You know,
Yeah, so
that's where I could see it going.
I mean,
Realistically,
I mean, it's still a good approach because the fact is that you're gonna get shorter time and they'll be able to deal with it and make something. But again, the original haze goes up to 90 days. Well, the original black haze goes to 90 days and more. I've seen people that do 100 and something days.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a difference, you know what I mean, compared to the 50 somethings and the 90s plus, you know what I mean? And a lot of people get that confused. Again, it's straight up black haze, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about that shit. A lot of people also tend to hate on it, not knowing there's so much culture and so much like growth behind and so much history behind the black haze. You know what I mean?
It's incredible how that strain could maintain for so long, for so many years. You look back 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And that thing's still around, it's still sought for. And now the new generations, they're curious about it, so they want to talk and look for it. You know what I'm saying? Get information on it.
When do you start seeing haze? Like how do you get that cut, bro? How you was able to do that? How do you create that your cut? How did that
From
happen?
cuttings. Oh, how did I originally get it?
Yeah, how you originally
From a local guy here in Miami.
Okay, and you just
Basically.
kept it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, they gave it to us because they knew we were already dibbling dabbing into some 6-lighters, 8-lighter, little small operations. And they were also, but they were doing other things, and they came across that one, and they were like, yo, this is really fire. Try that. And when we tried it, my brother, actually, they handed it to my brother. And we put it in the rotation. We put it in rotation with Northern Lights and other things that we had. And when we took it down and tried it, we're like, yo, what's up? And we gave it to our peeps in New York, and they fucking were like, yo, can you get more of that shit? You know, that was it. I'm talking about 92. 92, bro.
And it's still rolling around, bro. It's still people buy it. Bro. To this day, the OG,
Still sought for.
Yeah, people definitely.
No
buy
other
it,
strain. And not to mention the economic boom it made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people came up on that, on the Cuban Black Haze. Here especially, there was a report that came out on, I think it was like Channel 10 one time, and they said that they had calculated how much equipment was being sold in the state of Florida by taxes, you know? And they were able to calculate that there was more grow houses growing herb in the state of Florida than they were producing oranges out here. That shit was incredible.
When was your move to Florida? When did that happen?
Oh, I moved to Florida originally as a teenager in 1982, maybe 83. So I was already out as a young man, you know,
Yeah,
so
so you
becoming
started-
a young man.
Yeah.
So there was other things going on around town. Probably shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah.
But nah, we started messing around, just planting seeds in the backyard in the
Yeah.
early 80s,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Trying
but
to
like
figure it
the
out.
haze, how did that, like, you
So they gave us that
Yeah,
cut.
they gave you the cut, but how you knew that you just made that impact with like you just took that risk one day with the black and be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just bring it out there.
Bro, so like I was telling you, we put that into a rotation, right? And
And
when
they
we
stuck
pulled
with
it
it,
out,
yeah, and they
when we
stuck with
pulled
it.
that thing out and dried it, and then we introduced it to New York,
They
our
fuck
buddies,
with it,
and they
yeah,
were like, "Yo, bro, forget about the Northerns, forget about the Seattles.
Stick to
That's
that.
all you need to do.
Stick
That's
to
all
that
you should
shit.
concentrate on." And when we got that green light, we knew bro, it was on. It was on. And you're talking about two young men now.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, in a matter of a couple of years, we had maybe, 4 or 5 houses. I'm talking about 12 bulbs in each one, plus a mother room, plus baby room. You know what I'm saying? So
The yield on that shit is crazy too. I mean, depending how many lighters you got, you get more flower.
we already knew, we had a math figured out that with 12 lights, we're going to come up with at least 24 pounds.
24 pounds to give you 12
24,
lights.
25 pounds, 22, 23, it's in that ballpark. If you did anything less than 22, you did something wrong. So doing that math, it all made sense that we only put up another crib, or another crib,
Nah,
and
it's
it's just,
smokes.
and we couldn't
Yeah.
have enough of it.
Yeah.
We didn't have enough of it.
I used to smoke haze more because it'll cover the hot box. Like, you can knock it off by saying, "Oh, I smell like cigarettes." Then sour, for instance. Sour, they'll know first right away.
Oh,
You're smoking weed.
yeah.
But with this shit, I was with people that was smoking weed or cigarettes. It's not because it has a distinct smell. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's cigarette, but it has like that. That.
Yeah, no, you could burn a
oxymine.
room, you could burn a haze in a room with smokers that smoke another shit, and they smell the haze.
Yeah, you
You
definitely know.
It's
But
not that loud,
Yeah,
but it
it's
has
not
that
loud.
distinctive
You smell, yeah.
that you recognize it. You're like, wait a minute, who's got that?
Yeah, who got that? It is different. It's definitely different. And it what I like about it again is it doesn't get you super like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some shit that just gets you
Or
too
put you in the
couch.
couch. No,
Yeah.
it was all
You know
good.
what I'm saying?
Keeps you.
What are your plans in the future for Nelly Farms as you venture out?
I think I'm gonna start. Obviously, you got to keep the old school Cuban Black Haze around.
Yeah.
But now that I'm starting to venture into crossing it to reduce flowering time and stuff like that, I think I might get into the breeding aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's not something I needed to do in the past or wanted to do. It's just, now there's like a necessity for it.
About seeds of that cut.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm in the process now of doing some feminized seeds of the Cuban Black Haze.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Getting into competitions too, and get a competition where they could bring a haze competition with the real cuts, from real people, people that put in game into this shit. You know what I mean?
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Bring an event like that.
Yeah, most
Haze.
definitely. A real haze event
Real
that
haze.
that actually have real pioneers that put in game, like yourself, like Kev's cut, like Tom McCormick. You know what I mean? Shout out to those dudes that have haze cut, but you know what I mean? Like, keep the real haze alive, the real black haze alive, which is an NL5 times haze. For those that don't know the genetics and shit like that.
Right.
Do you see yourself ever giving out the cup?
I've never given it out in 30 years. I've hit people offer me shit and load of money. Now I'm good. I'll make that in 3 months. I'll make that on one turn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it was like a situation where I could be involved and I can actually monitor it, probably. Probably.
On a legal expense, but with somebody else, like, trying to get it from you, like an up and coming grower, trying to get it from you,
I'll give him a Tangy.
Shout out with the
Tangies. I'll give it a Tangy number 2 or 3. The number 1, I'm not really giving up that one either because it has everything that the Cuban Black Haze has, and it's done in freaking 48 to 56 days in that window, bro. It's half the time. You know what I'm saying? That code's been broken.
Yeah.
That code's been broken.
Nah, this shit, I mean, again, bro, it's different, bro. It's definitely different. Nelly, man, it's an honor to have you on the show once again. tell
Thank you.
some of your story, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, there's a lot of
We're
stories.
gonna have a Netflix.
Actually, what's the most crazy shit that you experienced in the game, bro, that you could talk about when it comes to this haze?
Well, crazy in what sense? Like scary?
No, in whatever sense, like you know that made you even love it more and stick with it. That you've been 30 years doing the same, handling.
Because of her effects. Her effects.
Yeah,
And she was just such a big demand, which was a right given to her. You know what I'm saying? I nicknamed her the Tree of Life. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, she does a lot. You know, she brought up a big boom in community income. Both Florida and New York made a lot of money on the come up on that front.
do you ever venture out like besides New York? You ever go to other states besides New York?
Nah, I mean, you never needed to. New York
From
was
New
the one.
York,
New
yeah,
York was the.
everybody
New
was
York
going to New York
approved it.
together.
You know what I'm saying? It was it. I mean,
That's dope.
Mass in those states, yeah, they all love it too. They come into the heights to come get it.
Yeah.
At least they used to, right?
You know, I mean, now there's other ways, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit, it was a beautiful thing. It was an experience, bro. Rappers still talk about it. Still was talking about it back in the 90s and 2000 about the experience. I'm going up to Washington Heights to get some haze. You know what I'm saying? It's for you to be one of those pioneers to make it happen, bro. It's honor to have you here, my brother. You know
Thank you, appreciate it.
And keep doing your thing, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for keeping a great cultivar like this alive, because a lot of people don't respect this. You know what I mean? So shout out to
And
you.
it gets lost through the years, and
A lot of people got
it's
locked
great.
up for this shit too, man. That's another
and
thing.
It's
You
great
ever
to
had
see.
an experience
It's
like
great
that
to
with
see
this
the
shit?
youth. I dodged a lot of bullets, bro. I've had
So
a lot of fucking heart attacks.
you never did time for this shit ever in your life.
Nope. I knew when to take the rooms down before they fucking got to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to go with your gut feeling sometimes. You know there's a situation happening in the house. You know, you're dealing with families, something going on, and it's not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? You know that could lead to domestic violence or police for whatever reason. You got to be quick.
You gotta be quick.
Get your shit out of there before it becomes a problem that's going to, involve a lot of people having problems.
Most definitely.
Eliminate the problem when it's small. Wait for get it too big.
For real, for real. Again, it was an honor to have you on the show,
Thank you,
my
man.
brother. Reviewing this beautiful black. What's the name of you call it?
Tree of Life.
The Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, aka
She's made so
Cuban
many
Black Haze.
changes in people's lives, man.
in a good way.
Always good way.
Always
Health.
in a good way. Yeah, health. Health number one is health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ever thought of, you talking about the wax and all that. You ever thought about putting it on concentrate?
I have it.
Disposables and all that?
I have it.
Yeah.
I have a few samples there for you to try.
You already know what it is. Nelly Farms. Honored to have you here, bro. Thank you so much for being part of the show, my brother. It's an honor to have you again. So let me see what you're smoking. Nelly Farms. Peace.